So it is about 9:15. I just finished my morning routine and I'm here with my roommate, Valerie. Bye. Today I'm going to be filming what I eat in a day and my tips for healthy eating. I am staying fasted right now as I get some work done. I just find it works better for me. I'm a lot more focused and I just tend to work better. But while I'm here, I am going to start with my first tip of the day. Tip number 1 is to clean out your kitchen. You want to get out all the stuff that you don't want to be eating. So this is like your processed foods that you just kind of like have in the cupboard in case, you know, you want something sweet, but they can be pretty detrimental to your health because you can find yourself snacking on them for no particular reason other than they're there. Clean it out of all the stuff that you don't want to be eating that you know is not good for you. This one is really important because as we go throughout the day, we have something that's called decision fatigue. So that means your willpower kind of diminishes as you go on about your day. And then at nighttime, it can be really difficult for us to resist things like treats and sweets and other stuff that we kind of overindulge in after dinner. So do your best to clean out your refrigerator and your pantry of refined foods and processed foods. Honestly, just use your best judgment. You know what foods are healthy for you. You know what foods are not going to give you the results that you want. And most of all, you know what foods that you struggle with the most. You don't want to have something in your pantry that is constantly tempting you, something that you constantly have to be resisting. It is exhausting, and a lot of the time we are going to give in, we are going to fail because it's just too much for our body to resist all the time. Okay guys, I'm here with Maddie, so we're drinking our Americanos. I'm breaking my fast now. It's, what time is it? 10:30. A bunch of you guys know that I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting, which kind of ties into my tip number 2, which is to choose an eating window or try intermittent fasting. A lot of us eat over like a 15-hour period, but since we're diurnal creatures, we should be eating within a 12-hour period because eating longer than that can have a lot of undesirable side effects like increased fat gain and muscle loss, things like that. So it's definitely something that can be very helpful to try. Also, if you set a routine that you're not going to eat past like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. or something like that, you reduce indulging in like late night treats, late night snacks that might be not very beneficial to your progress. So that's definitely something that's really helped me, especially with intermittent fasting. I've noticed a huge fat loss benefit. I stay a lot leaner that way without really trying as hard. I can still eat the same amount of calories. So yeah, definitely something that has really helped me. Okay Mads, what's your number 1 tip for healthy eating?
My number 1 tip for healthy eating would definitely be to focus on your breakfast. I currently fast, so when I do break my fast, my breakfast consists of high fats and high protein. But other than that, I don't really incorporate carbs until after my workouts.
Perfect! Thanks for listening to my friend, my celeb, my crush. Oh. So I just got back from the gym. I'm gonna make my first meal of the day. So I did break my fast with an Americano earlier at about 10:30, but this is actually my first meal. It is 1:45. So just while I cook, I'm just gonna snack on some watermelon radishes and some of the Goodmore kombucha. It's probably my favorite brand of kombucha, or one of, because they don't have any fruit flavors, so they've got way less sugar than all the other brands. Usually they have like 8 or 12 grams of sugar per half bottle, but this one I think only has like 4 or 5, so it's really good. Good to get some probiotics in before I eat. As for my actual meal, I'm going to be having half a sweet potato, half a cup of lentils, some red Swiss chard, and some kale with almond butter on top, and then just some seasoning.
Come over here and sit next to me.
So just while that cooks, I'm gonna go over my third tip of the day. So that is to increase your healthy fat intake. Processed carbs, things like that, aren't very good for you, so you're gonna wanna be slowly phasing those out of your diet. And as you do that, you've got room to increase your calories or your food intake in other areas. So definitely do that with healthy fats. So that's things like avocado, coconut oil, fish as well is a really great source of healthy fats. You just wanna stay away from things like canola oil, palm oil, those like processed oils. But yeah, so fat actually has per gram 9 calories, so it's a lot more satiating, and it is so important for you to have like healthy skin, healthy hair. A lot of your metabolic processes are dependent on fat, especially a lot of the cellular signaling in the body. So it is super crucial that we have adequate amounts of fat in our diet. So I'm just sauteing everything together with some pepper, some Italiano seasoning, and then my favorite seasoning, which is soy sauce replacement essentially. And it is just so good for adding more like salty flavor to your meals. I literally cook everything with this. It is so good. So this is the finished product. Not too glamorous, but I just put about a tablespoon of almond butter and just kind of spread it around. Okay, this crow will not stop yelling. Okay, I brought it inside because that crow was literally so loud. But I don't really track macros, but I know this has at least 30 grams of protein because of the lentils. Really good source of healthy fat would be the coconut oil and then the almond butter as well. And then I get my carbs from the sweet potato and then the carbs and fiber from the kale and the Swiss chard as well. So now that I've had lunch, I'm gonna get some work done for a few hours and sip on a green juice. So this is the green juice I'm drinking right now. It is my favorite one. The pineapple coconut is freaking bomb. Do I know if it's the best out there, like nutrient wise? Not really, but it tastes amazing, so it actually makes me want to drink it every single day. So I have it with water, and then I'll also squeeze just a little bit of lemon in it. Just makes it taste better. So that actually brings me to my fourth tip, which is to incorporate a green juice or some kind of superfood to help you fill in your nutrient gaps. JT actually had a really wonderful quote that chronic nutrient deficiency leads to chronic overeating. A lot of the time we crave certain foods because we're deficient in a nutrient. That's just kind of how our body works. If your body is low in, say, like iron, magnesium, phosphorus, things like that, it sends a hunger signal. So you eat something, and if you eat like a bagel and cream cheese, it's like, okay, cool, I got calories, but I didn't get the nutrients that I was looking for, so it sends more hunger. So that could be a reason why you find you're overeating a lot, but you're not really feeling satisfied. That's because some of your nutrient markers aren't being fulfilled. The key though is to get a green juice that actually tastes good. And I find that when I have cravings for sugar, if I opt for that, because it's kind of sweet, it satisfies the craving, but also I'm good for the rest of the day because a lot of my nutrient markers have been hit, have been fulfilled, so my body's not necessarily deficient in what it may have been before. Obviously, it is always best to get our micronutrients from whole foods, but even myself, who takes pride in the amount of vegetables she eats, I don't always fulfill my nutrient requirements, so it's really awesome to have a green juice that can just help me do that a little bit. So it's now almost 4 o'clock. And I'm just finishing up my work, and then I have to get ready for an event that I have tonight. So I'm just snacking on some cashews and dark chocolate. Just about, I think, like a quarter of a cup of cashews, I don't really know, and then some pieces of dark chocolate with almonds. So it is about 5 o'clock now. I'm going to be making my last meal, but I'm not actually going to be eating it right now because I am going to an event and I need to prepare for it with my group members, so I'll probably eat it at around like 6 or 6:30, just while we get our things together. So what I'm eating is broccoli, Brussels sprouts, chicken, and avocado. Obviously not eating all of this at once, I'm just gonna cook it at the same time. And then for my chicken, I'm going to be cooking it with the Italiano seasoning, pepper, and the soy sauce that I showed you earlier, as well as organic coconut oil from Costco. So this is the finished product in my little to-go container. So I have about half a chicken breast there, approximately half an avocado, and then a bunch of broccoli and a bunch of Brussels sprouts that I just have salt, the Italian seasoning, and then pepper on them. Getting a really good source of protein from my chicken, and then really good healthy fats from the avocado, and then majority of my carbs, fiber, and micronutrients from my greens. So I am headed to my event now, but with me I also have a liter of water that I put vitamin D3 in. So I do take a vitamin D supplement every single day, especially during the winter months, just 1 drop, so 1,000 IUs. It's just really important for a bunch of different processes in the body, especially the maintenance of like nice skin, hair, nails, things like that. And it's also very crucial with fat loss and muscle gain, so it's just something good that you can add into your routine just daily, especially during the winter if you live in places like Canada or places that you don't necessarily get sun every single day. So I just got back from my event and I made myself some valerian root tea with magnesium. I do usually have some kind of herbal tea before I go to bed. Valerian root or chamomile. Valerian is a little bit stronger, so I have that on days when I'm like, I know I have a stressful day ahead of me. I might have a little bit of trouble sleeping tonight just because I'll be a little bit nervous, so take valerian root, it calms me down. It's totally natural, so you can take it and not worry about it. But it is considered a mild tranquilizer, so just, you know, use at your own risk. But I love it, I drink it all the time. So I ended up having my dinner at about 7:30, so I finished that whole container that I showed you guys. And then there were some like desserts and stuff at the event, so I had some of those, of course. Nothing crazy, just like some chocolate and some fruit. Which brings me to my last tip. So tip number 5 is to not obsess over eating healthy. You should be enthusiastic about it, and you should definitely be consistent and devoted to it, but you should not be obsessive about it because that's not sustainable. This is a lifestyle. You want to be able to continue this essentially your whole life if you can, and it's totally possible. Don't go overboard. You know your limits, so be smart, but don't stop yourself from having like a glass of red wine with dinner or some chocolate for dessert. Indulge from time to time. I really like the idea of that 80-20 rule that a lot of people use. If I want to have a treat, it's not cheating. You can have the treat. Remember not to obsess over it because that's just gonna make it more stressful. That's gonna make it harder for you to stay motivated and to be eating healthy and to not give in to these temptations and these cravings. Again, like I was talking about in my previous video, you're just restricting yourself, and that is not sustainable whatsoever. So yeah, that concludes today's video. You'll notice that I'm a huge fan of intermittent fasting and or time restricted eating. I will link below a lot more information about that because I think that everybody, absolutely everyone, should read up on it a little bit more. I will also link below the supplements that I take as well as my green juice. And I'll also link at the very bottom some more podcasts and other resources I find that are very helpful when discovering on how you can make healthy eating sustainable if you're struggling with it a little bit more. I'm always happy to help, so reach out to me, ask me any questions. It's definitely something that I personally struggled with, so it's a topic that I hold dear to my heart, and I want to help all of you achieve sustainable, healthy eating. If you liked any of this information, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, or pass it on to a friend who you think might need a little bit more motivation with healthy eating. Share the love. Send the video on. You can also follow me on Instagram at BSO Lifestyle. But until next time, I hope you use some of these 5 tips and you find healthy eating a little bit more attainable and sustainable in your daily life.